Roz's happy hour. 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 Hello, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 of Roz's Happy Hour. I'm your girl, Roz, and your host for today. This is brought to you by Trisha Entertainment. How is everyone? It's Wednesday, and we are kicking off Black History Month. We will have a Black History Month moment today on the show for you, so stay tuned. Who's your favorite musical artist? Listed in the chat. What's happening, everybody? Y'all good? Do you guys check out my new theme song? Oh my God. It's like all I got. When you don't have any help, you got to do it yourself. So let me know. Is it a nay or a yay? We're going to come back with something else. But for right now, we rocking with that. I'll play it again for you a little later. What's up, Walt? I see you. Oh, there's a Rose Lady. Edmund, what's happening? Hey, Laura. Roy Stone, welcome. Um, do you have your drink and you're ready to chill with us tonight? You know, jazz and wine go together. I wanted to wish a dear friend a happy birthday. He's gone on. In fact, he left us the day before his birthday. It's been 2 years now. Happy birthday, my dear friend, Dennis Edwards, Temptations Review, Temptations Forever. I miss him so much. Well, if you're new here, welcome to Roz's Happy Hour. Feel free to come back on Wednesday to see us again. If you've been here before, I appreciate you. I'm giving you some hearts. Thanks for rocking with your girl, Roz. If you could please do me a favor and share the link. Check out our YouTube channel at Roz's Happy Hour for all of our past shows. And please subscribe to the station if you haven't already. Again, I really need some more subscribers. And if this broadcast has been of any value to you, please share with your network and your family and friends. Also, check out our website at tricheteentertainment.com. Well, today I am so excited to introduce to some and known to many saxophonist Elan Trotman. But I'm going to let his music introduce for himself. So stand by and let's check it out.
Please welcome to the stage international recording artist and award-winning sax man, Elan Trotman.
Wow. Please heart him up. You know how we do at Roz's Happy Hour. And welcome, Elan Trotman.
Hey.
Hey, what's up? You got you something to cheers with? Cheers. Great. Thank you. Peace, love, and music. And to all of you out there, cheers.
Cheers.
You gotta take a drink though. Oh, there you go. All right. Oh, so how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're more than welcome. It's my pleasure. Hope you guys are energized and ready to hang with Roz and Elan. So I'm looking forward to it. How are you doing in pandemic time?
I'm pretty numb to it right now. I'm just in a kind of holding pattern until things get back to normal. So I just kind of unplugged from everything, social media, the news, entertainment industry, and just, spending some time just think and soul search and create.
Wow. So you're born in Barbados, born and raised in Barbados, but live in the Boston area?
Yeah, Boston's my home away from home. I came here to study, but I was born and raised in Barbados and left when I was 17 years old. But Barbados will always be home.
Wow. Is there still family and friends there?
Definitely, yes.
Well, how are you handling the snow? Oh, well, you've been in there long enough now. You're accustomed to it, right?
Yeah, I think the older I get, the more I kind of want to go back to being in a warm climate and not having to deal with winter. But something special about experiencing different seasons and the whole transition from summer to fall and winter, and then waiting for spring to come, and then enjoying the summertime, even though it's so short some years. But like I said, I've been here for about 20 years and it's home. for now, at least.
Yeah. So you went to the School of Berkeley and ended up staying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I majored in music education, taught. A former Boston Public Schools teacher, music teacher, educator, and I love the Boston area. It's a lot of colleges and universities, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
music, of course, and it's a great city to raise a family. And just it's not a big city like New York City, so it's in my opinion. Oh, it's also a great sports town. Even
Yeah.
though Patriots not in Super Bowl this weekend, but we have a couple of championships under our belt.
Yeah. So that's the same island that Rihanna is from?
That's correct. Yes.
You go home, you ever run into her or her family?
Only once. I saw her at the airport once, and I
Oh.
sat on a flight with her brother once as well. But I did. The closest I've ever gotten in contact with her is at a concert that was actually here in Massachusetts. Probably this is right before her first single came out, so I think she was still a teenager, and
Mhm.
that was the first time and only time that I got to meet her in person.
Wow, nice. Well, listen, you consistently push boundaries. Plus, you're super talented. You continue to stand out as a composer, performer, teacher, recording artist, not to mention a photographer and painter. Plus, you play guitar. Did I see you playing the guitar?
Bass guitar, yeah.
It was a bass guitar. Oh my God. So you've quickly become one of jazz's most thrilling and emotive performers. Can we check you out on the stage? Let's
Sure.
see. Okay, let's take a look at the clip at Elan perform. Wow, he's doing a little a little Johnny Gill on that one.
That
Wow. You missed the stage?
was probably one of my last shows. That was a Capital Jazz Super Cruise last February or January. Yeah. I don't think I've had many shows since that, actually.
Wow. So you're coming off the ship.
Yeah,
You
that's right before everything hit the wall.
Yeah, yeah. And you haven't been back out since. Wow.
I think I went to South Africa right after that for a festival in Cape Town, and then everything. As I was returning from South Africa, we were watching the news and we started seeing, there were already a few cases, but the people start. That was just when the lockdown was starting to begin in Europe, and from
Mm,
it was all downhill from there.
wow. So who is your musical influences or inspiration?
Um, every time I'm asked that question, I go back to, being a 12, 13-year-old, teenager in Barbados, and in the, whatever decade that would have been, 80s, where I didn't really have access to, YouTube at that time, or even, internet for that matter. So, I had a couple cassette tapes. I had a Kenny G cassette tape, and we also had we would get
Mm.
Bet on Jazz on the cable network. So I would see some performances on there, Najee and Boney
Ah,
James and people like that. And then we also had a annual jazz festival every January, and national acts would come down there. And Grove Washington Jr. is one of the people that definitely made a mark on me as far as seeing a saxophone player in person do a show and entertain people, and that definitely was the determining factor for me as far as what instrument to choose and what career path I wanted.
wow. So, but New England Urban Music Awards and the Barbados Music Awards both named you Jazz Artist of the Year on multiple occasions. That must have been a great feeling of accomplishment, especially for your hometown.
it's always nice and humbling to be recognized, on a local level, amongst your peers and in your community, but
Mm,
also on a national level. To come to a big city, like Boston, where in Barbados there might only be five or six other saxophone players that you have are are mentioned in the conversation when it comes to getting nominated for that kind of an award. But when you come to a big city like Boston, you're talking about dozens, if not
mm,
hundreds, of people that are just as good as you, if not better,
mm.
doing the same thing that you're doing, and it's a little harder to stand out. So, like I said, it's always an honor to get recognized in those situations.
Yeah, nice. Let's holler at a couple people as we continue going. Let's see. I don't know what that means, but okay. Wolfgang Henry, tenor sax. Is that what you play? Tenor sax?
Tenor is my
Okay.
first love. Yeah, I play mostly tenor and a little bit of soprano.
Okay. There's Marshall Thompson of the Shy Lights. What's up, Godfather? The vocal group. Almighty Shy Lights. Hey, Pam. Welcome, welcome, you guys. Okay, let's get back to the show. But you have a nonprofit foundation called Never Lose the Drive. Can you tell us about the foundation?
Yep. Never Lose Your Drive Foundation Inc. was founded in 2017 or 2018, I believe. As I said, being a former Boston Public Schools music teacher, we had lots of programs that would give kids access to instruments. We had a grant, one particular grant from the VH1 Save the Music Foundation, which allowed, third, fourth, and fifth graders to, be able to
Mhm.
use, rent, or borrow, some trumpets, some saxophones, flutes, clarinets. So I kind of use that model. And of course, being a recipient of the National Development Scholarship in Barbados from the music, from the Ministry of Education,
Mhm.
government in Barbados. They allowed me the opportunity to study at Berkeley through a scholarship. So my first instinct was to start a foundation in Barbados, in my hometown, where I can give back and pay it forward and give kids an opportunity to experience music, to play an instrument, not have, even if they can't afford it. So the program is designed to help families who may have other obligations financially, or they don't have to pay for the instrument and they don't have to pay for the instruction. So all the monies raised go towards sustaining this program with the tutor fees and maintenance of the instruments and things of that nature.
Wow, I am so impressed with how you work with the youth and teaching them music. We'll take a look at your foundation.
All right, how many people dance or swim? Okay. For all of those activities, in order to be the best, you have to practice. Steph Curry is one of the best shooters in the NBA. He doesn't miss very often. He can even make it from half court, right? But did you know that before every game, he takes hundreds and hundreds of shots every day?
That is wonderful. I'm over here tearing up because that's exactly what the children need. They've taken music out of schools. So, um, for you to put together a foundation that supports and teach these kids music is deep.
Yeah, I saw it firsthand being in the public school system because so much emphasis is placed on the academics and all the state testing. Here in Massachusetts, we have the MCAS, and these kids are under so much pressure to make grades, and so a lot of times the other extracurriculum activities become a distraction. According to the administrators, because they want to make sure the kids don't miss all their instruction and stuff. So a lot of times kids would miss music class. The first thing they get pulled out of is music or gym, to do extra studies for math or all the academic stuff. So I've seen it firsthand. Like I said, arts programs get cut because the emphasis is always placed on academics. So I want to make sure that this program, is readily accessible to anyone who has a child in the elementary school level that wants to experience an instrument.
Mm-hmm. So can you reach out to the kids now and teach them virtually?
The program is, like I said, it's been going strong for 3 years. We just started our 4th year. We've had a 100% graduation rate. Kids that leave the program go on to secondary school, and they continue to perform in like middle school bands, orchestra. Right now, the entire island is on lockdown, unfortunately, for 2 weeks, because they had a spike in cases with some community spread. So everything that we've experienced here in the U.S. over the past 12 months, they are now starting to experience in Barbados and other parts of the Caribbean. So the next 2 weeks will be pretty crucial in Barbados as far as stopping the spread and getting that curve to flatten so that tourism can open back up and everything can get back to normal.
Wow, I had not heard that. Yikes.
Yeah.
We'll be praying and lifting up our Caribbean brothers and sisters for sure. Well, this is a perfect time now to pivot to our Black History moment. Stay tuned.
First of all, I have to say this. Sometimes we look at people, birth as a miracle and death as a tragedy, or passing as a tragedy. I think the tragedy is not doing what you came to do with your life. And let me tell you, Cicely Tyson lived a big, full life. When I worked with her, and I worked with her a couple times. The first time, my father had written a script called Old Sweet Song, and she was acting in it. And then the next time I worked with her, my dad and I both worked with her on a film about the LA uprising. And all of us were keenly interested and have been interested in social justice. I think that my father sort of put Black power on the screen, and Cicely had an elegance and a very quiet nobility about her that I think represented civil rights on screen. And you really got that sense that long before we saw people like our vice president now, or Michelle Obama, Black women, Stacey Abrams, like that, in political power, we saw them on the screen. And Cicely always played it with this sense of knowing, an old soul. And she could laugh, man, and tease. We would laugh, and it would get late, it would get silly, and she was smart. And she's one of those people, if you looked across the room, there's certain people who look across the room, she gets the joke. If something happened, you knew she knew it. She had this wicked humor, but even when she played characters that were not per se empowered, the economic power, political power, there was an elegance about her that you had the sense that she knew what was happening, and just really brought it. What a lovely spirit.
Well, that is our Black History Month moment. How about that? We did lose a giant. So if you all have any questions for Elan, please put in the chat hashtag Roz Happy Hour, and then I can be sure to capture your questions that way, because the chat be going fast and I can't catch everybody. So thank you all for joining us. Thanks. How did you get on the chat? You just threw me off. I've never seen that. All right. Well, we'll look for your questions and we'll keep going. So you approach jazz in your own unique way, and I love it. I mean, you blend the Caribbean rhythms with some skillful horn textures. That's your style. I mean, you just rock the place.
I think most artists that come from the Caribbean, have a very simplistic approach to composition. Music is all about, creating a space for people to dance. And, growing up on an island, like I said, music it fits everything that you see and smell and taste. So that's, kind of my approach to writing music and putting out albums to capture those elements and put people back in that place where they can kind of feel that sense of tropicality, which is a word that the late Fred Taylor from Sculler's Jazz Club, he kind of penned on me and my band. And he thought that, because it was such a big part of who I am as a person, that tropicality was a great name, a great title for not just the group, but also for the concept of, bringing the music of the Caribbean to, different, crossover with different styles of music, but to just pay homage to, to my roots.
Wow, excuse me. Wow. So you guys ready to jam? Let's play a little bit of Got to Give It Up. You killed on this one. Stand by. Let's check out another clip of Elan on stage. Oh, wow. Hey. I was feeling that, man. You know how to party. That's a good group. Who is the gentleman dancing? He was getting it.
Uncle Charlie. That's Uncle Charlie.
That's Uncle Charlie. And the girl, she's so good.
One of the youngest one is my daughter, actually.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, she's going to be a dancer.
Oh, yeah. She's been dancing since she was like 3 or 4.
Wow. And that's what she wants to do. She wants to be in this entertainment.
I think, she's about to turn 14, but like I said, she's been dancing for as long as I can remember, and she's really good. She's getting a little heavier into tap and jazz. So yeah, we'll see. It's there, if she decides to go in that direction.
Wow, I am totally impressed. I think I've seen her in a couple other videes.
That's
You
right.
should,
She's been in a
so
couple
that's
of videos.
her. Oh, nice. What's her name?
Tatiana.
What I'd ask. Katiana or Tatiana?
Tatiana, like Tatiana Ali.
Tatiana. Oh, nice. Okay. Well, let's talk about the Barbados Jazz Festival because you and I was supposed to get together on that, and I was really working my way through it this year, and because I've been on the Dave Cause's cruise, but I've missed you. You've been on the cruise as well.
Yeah, I've done Dave's Cruise 3 times.
Really? I've
Yeah.
done it 3 times as well. In fact, we were booked on this year, 2021, to Morocco. You know, disappointed, so sad.
I know it's very depressing, but
Yeah, it is. But we're gonna keep our heads up because your festival in Barbados, if you guys don't know about Elan's festival, people come from all over for the jazz festival, correct?
yeah, the Jazz Excursion and Golf Weekend.
Oh, jazz excursion and golf weekend. Okay. How many music lovers, do you have at the events? It's a weekend?
Yeah, yeah, it's always first or second weekend of October, which we refer to as Columbus Day weekend here in the States. Um, Over the years, we've seen a lot of growth. I work closely with the tourism board and the government to help promote, tourism and the resorts and all of the local excursion companies and things of that nature. So we've seen a lot of growth. Like I said, it's not a mega festival. It's very intimate. We usually get about
Mm,
300 to 400 visitors every year. And that's why it's called the Jazz Excursion and Golf Weekend, because it's not just a jazz festival. It's an entire experience of, the food, the culture, the people, sightseeing, seeing the island, all the landmarks, and of course the celebrity golf, which is one of my pastimes, playing golf.
yeah. So, who's been some of the past performers?
Our inaugural festival, we just did some local artists, and I was the headliner. And then 2015, we had Javier Colon, Jeff
Oh,
Lorber,
I like him.
and
Yeah.
Gerald Veasley. And then
Yeah.
after that, we had Jeffrey Osborne. He's been there twice because
Yeah.
I do
He's a
his event,
golfer.
and he's a big golfer as well. We've got Norman Brown, Will Downing, Mesa, Najee, Avery Sunshine.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
yeah. We're supposed to have
Yeah.
people. We're supposed to have Peebo Bryson last year, and it's been postponed until this October. So fingers crossed. Keeping an eye on everything, and hopefully by summer, people will start traveling again, and we'll be able to have our event this year.
Oh, is it already booked? I might have to get on that one for October. By this time in October, we'll be ready to do something. I
Yeah,
mean,
we have Peebo, we have Rick Braun, DW3. I don't know. It's been so long since I've looked at that
I
flyer,
know.
but
But I mean, you have room for other people to sign up?
yeah, like I said, everything is on pause right now. We stopped
Mhm.
taking
Yeah.
bookings because we want to get the all clear from the resort, the Hilton Resort, and make sure the airlines are running back on schedule because they kind of dialed back as far as routings and stuff because of the pandemic. So, like I
Mhm.
said, the next few months are going to be very crucial. And I hate to even make it a big deal right now because it's the last thing on people's minds as far as what's really important right now. I think right now people need to continue to focus on being safe, socially distancing, taking care of your families, and just
That's
trying to
good.
survive this thing. So like I said, I just kind of unplugged and just giving people a chance to heal, as a community, as a nation, as globally, and hopefully we can look back at this and use it as a learning experience so that it never happens again.
Well, I can heal better if I know that I got a trip to Barbados.
That always helps,
Something. I mean, we are totally isolated here, and California is shut down. I don't know if Boston is open, or I
Partially,
mean,
it's partially open. It's not as bad as California. We had a time where New York and New Jersey were
oh
getting
yeah,
hit pretty hard, and that kind of filtered up here where people were just being very, very careful, and all the businesses were closed and stuff like that. But stuff is starting to open back, especially now having the vaccine and people getting the vaccine on a daily basis. Hundreds of thousands of people. So it can only get better from here.
yeah, absolutely. Well, let's take a look at another clip about the Jazz Excursion weekend. Let's share that with our guests. Stand by.
Hey, this is jazz saxophonist Elan Trotman. Welcome to Barbados.
I cannot wait to come back.
People are beautiful over here, and me and my wife, we really enjoying our trip.
Beautiful island. Everyone's been so friendly. I'll certainly be back.
I'm having a fabulous time. I really love Barbados. I want to come back.
Having a ball even on the third hole.
Wow, I love how you ended that. That looked amazing. You had theme nights, the all white night, looked like a 70s. Was that you?
Yeah.
I love those theme night parties. Those are the best, especially when you're, in the island and you're just no worries, enjoying it. So that was awesome. Yeah.
So strange, watching these videos. You kind of get a little emotional because we really, we take a lot for granted. The ability to, travel, to do what we love, and to be among friends and family, up close and personal. That's kind of been stripped away from us. So, watching these videos, like I said, it just kind of it gives you mixed emotions, but we're hopeful that we can all be together again real soon.
Yeah. And that's why, I do this Roz's happy hour so we can bring artists like yourselves back together. Look, I got my Black History glass from Africa.
Beautiful. Yeah, thanks for doing this. People like yourself have been our only, outlet for, staying in contact with fans, real time, whether it be, performing or just talking. But thanks for creating this platform. I really appreciate it. Hope you can, get some more artists on here who can, share their stories and just, bring a little light to everyone's day.
Absolutely. We do have a question from Walt, and you're welcome. Thank you, Walt, for your question. Hey, Leland, did you enjoy making the video Carnival Fever?
Yeah, Carnival Fever was filmed in the St. Lawrence Gap, which is kind of like the strip, for Barbados. That's kind of like our Bourbon Street equivalent, where all the tourists go for nightlife, clubs, bars, restaurants. And so we shot in 2 locations in St. Lawrence Gap. And, the one of the themes was the, costume girls for Carnival. Most of the islands have, their own version of Carnival. We call ours crop over or Kadooment. But they're all very similar as far as, the festivities, people getting dressed up in, the feathers and the headgear and, just dancing in the streets for days and partying, paint and all of that stuff. So, I wanted to kind of recreate that atmosphere with the video. So yes, to answer your question, I enjoyed filming it very much. And I'm also very happy to say that, all of my music videos I've, produced independently. I've done all the editing and
nice.
It's something I love to do. So it was really fun, being able to capture. I think we had some drone footage in that particular video where you kind of got to see some of the southern, coastline of the island.
Wow, I should have put that one in. Sorry, I didn't get that one. Music brings people together and is the only language that doesn't need translation. Awesome. Yes, that's what we find out in cruising and going on these music excursions. It brings people together for music. So everybody has a great time. There's, no issues.
Yeah, I think, like you said, music is one of the only things that kind of transcends barriers and boundaries that everyone can appreciate, because it helps, to take your mind off of, the daily, stress that, jobs, health, and finances. And everyone can relate to music, so I'm very fortunate to be able to be one of those people who has the ability and the power to, change people's persona, change people's energy by what I do for a living. I don't take that. I'll never take that for granted again. The next time I step on stage, it's going to be different because, like I said, it's been taken away from us. And not just that, but, we've been losing friends and family along the way as a result of this, season that we're going through. So, look out for some great music and great performances from not just myself, but all other creatives out there, because we've just been holding it in and watching and waiting. So there's going to be a lot of good material to come after we get through this.
Wow. And we had another question from Rose Lady. Was wondering if you're painting.
So the painting was one phase of my, my quarantine. I went through a bunch of different phases. Painting was earlier on, where I think I was watching a Miles Davis documentary, and they did a scene where they were featuring some of his work, in this gallery, and I think that kind of just set something off. And next thing I knew, I was buying canvases and buying paints and brushes, and a couple other secret ingredients that I put in in my work to add some texture to make it kind of 3-dimensional. But long story short, yes, I did kind of rediscover art, visual art, and I did about 30 to 40 pieces, ranging from 24 inches all the way to 40 inches on canvas, acrylic. And I did a full-blown art exhibit and sold some pieces, and
nice.
still have a bunch of them here sitting in the basement. So hopefully we can keep promoting that aspect of my creativity, the artwork.
So what do you listen to while you're painting?
I'm very selective when it comes to music. Even when I go to the gym, which is almost every day, I tend to listen to the same playlist every day, just because music is so personal to me. I am very sensitive when it comes to, my choice of the artists I listen to just based on my past experiences with the music industry. The ups and downs. So I love to explore new talent. I love to hear stuff that's innovative and that pushes the envelope. But if I probably couldn't tell you. I mean, I have my current playlist. I have a record by Mike Burton, who is a saxophone player from Alabama, who's based in Georgia. He put out an album recently. I think it's called Walk With Me. So that's been on my rotation lately. PJ Morton, the Gumbo album, that's in my rotation. A lot of time just stuff without words, just instrumental stuff, because sometimes people don't really have anything positive to say, so I don't listen to a lot of stuff with lyrics, honestly.
Well, you've recorded and performed with a number of class musicians, including Michael McDonald. So I know we're heavy videoed, but I want to take a look at you and Michael McDonald. You didn't know I had this one, did you? Let's stand by. Let's check it out. That is why they call you Sax Man.
You got me blushing. I think that was my first Dave Koz cruise, first or second.
Oh.
And when Dave called me, usually go out to Los Angeles and rehearse, do 3 or 4 days of rehearsal before setting sail. And when he told me that I was assigned to perform on the Michael McDonald show, and I'd be, doing sax and also background vocals, that's definitely one of the highlights of my young career, being able to play on all the Doobie Brothers hits with Michael, and just to see him up close and personal in rehearsal. He's a very, very talented individual and one of the most iconic voices of our time.
Wow. Soulful brother too. Who else have you enjoyed performing with?
I'd say definitely in my top 3 would be Jonathan Butler. Go ahead.
I love him. Go ahead.
Me too. Who doesn't? I mean, but on a musical level, there's very few people that just have talent just oozing out of them, of every part of them, fingers, ears, fingers and lips rather, not just as a vocalist, but any instrument that he plays. It's special. And it's definitely a God-given gift that he has. That's the only way to explain it, when you're able to see him in action and you're just left in awe. So he's definitely on my top list of artists to work with. Not just, like I said, because he's a fellow musician, but because it really makes you appreciate what we do, and how people take pride in their artistry. I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot from Jeffrey Osborne. I learned a lot about performing, entertaining, communicating engaging the audience. On a marketing level, branding. See how they work with their team. Tour management and things of that nature. So, like I said, I have a lot of great people that I can call on anytime as mentors, that look out for me, and I call them brothers and sisters.
Yes. And who's your number 2?
Ooh. Oh, that's tough. I guess Jeffrey Osborne.
That's my
You know,
buddy.
you just look forward to performing a show where people are going to be singing along to, you know, 70 to 80% of the songs that are performed. You know, let's say he might throw in a new song here or there, but for the most part, people know all the songs because they've been hearing them on the radio for decades.
Yes.
And I always tell people that's the most humbling part of this for me is hearing "On the Wings of Love" playing on a radio station in Barbados, as a 13 or 14-year-old kid, not knowing that one day I'd be able to play that song with the guy who was singing that same song on the radio, playing with him on stage and in person, and to be able to call him my friend and my brother. It all comes full circle, and it really puts things in perspective as far as, always, keep dreaming, keep reaching. And once that opportunity presents itself, just make sure you've put the work in, you have the tools, and you're ready so that, people will give you an opportunity to, to be a part of their team, to be a part of their musical family. And I'm really blessed. I'm really fortunate.
Yeah, I just want to share my last experience with Jonathan Butler on the Days Cause cruise. We were in the middle of the Mediterranean Ocean, and we did the Sunday. And when he went into his gospel show, oh my God! And young man, came up to the stage, and he was feeling it. He was so emotional. Jonathan just stood there and held with him, and I went up, and the two of us just held this brother while all the emotions and everything came out. But that's, like you said, speaking of how Jonathan moved his people during
Yeah.
that performance. It was amazing, and I'll never forget that spiritual connection that we had on there. We had another question, but I lost it. I'm going to introduce you to Gene Williams. Many musicians are also excellent visual artists. He's over in Japan,
Wow.
and I've known him for years. He's a magnificent keyboard um, performer. He's played with everybody, but he went abroad and he stayed there. So,
Yeah.
Gene, you know,
Hey, Gene.
safe. Yes.
I'm sure it's either really early or really late there.
Yeah.
I've never been to Japan, but I've been to South Korea, and I've been to Indonesia, and people there just love music. They really do.
Wow. So your daughter paints a wolf and first clarinet in the local symphony orchestra over here. Well, that's great.
Yeah, congrats. That means that she's a very good reader. To be first chair, you definitely have to be exceptional at reading music. So good for her. I wish her the best.
Yeah. I know. Hey, Mark Abrams, Elan, are you doing CrossFit?
Hey, Mark. Mark is a diehard jazz fan. He comes to all the concerts in the New York area, actually the entire Northeast. We've done shows at Berks Jazz Festival in Pennsylvania. Mark is there. Delaware, the Rehoboth Jazz Festival. Mark is there.
Oh,
And no, I've never done CrossFit. I just pretty consistent fitness regimen as far as weightlifting and but not a specific program. Just trying to stay healthy. That's all.
okay. I'm sorry, Jean, you're in Japan. Cool, cool. Well, is there anyone that you haven't but want to play with?
Um, of all the artists that I've played with, I've never really done any arena shows. So when we talk about places like Staples Center or the O2 Arena or Madison Square Garden, I've never done any shows on that level where there's just mega production and 50,000 people. So I like I said, I don't really have a wish list of artists. I guess Rihanna would be a perfect candidate because
Yeah.
we're from the same island, and she's a trailblazer, an ambassador for the country,
Mm.
and she has a huge following, as we all know. So that would be a great experience. So I guess she would be first on my bucket list, on my wish list.
Yeah. Hey, Mark Anthony from Vegas. So you're a huge sports fan. And I wish I would have captured the clip because you killed the national anthem. Oh my God. But you're a Boston fan.
Yeah, don't put me out there because there's a lot of haters. People tend to
Oh.
people tend to talk a lot of trash about Boston sports teams. They call us cheaters and all that stuff. So
And
don't put me out there like that.
but you've also performed the national anthem for many other Boston groups and other groups, correct?
Yeah, I've done the only sports team I haven't done is the Patriots. I've done the Celtics, Red Sox, and I think I did a game for the Bruins as well, or maybe that might have been no. As far as non-Boston teams, I've done the Dodger Stadium a couple times, Cincinnati Reds, I think Arizona Diamondbacks, and those are always fun because when we talk about the whole arena experience of playing in front of tens of thousands of people, the sports arenas give you a taste of that, where you can kind of hear a pin drop for one moment, and then at the end everybody just erupts. And like I said, United States has been my new home. So anytime I'm able to play their national anthem to start off those events is an honor and a great opportunity that I don't take for granted either.
So Jean says, isn't Arturo Tampin from the same island?
Yes, Arturo is another legendary artist that is 100% Barbadian, or as we call Bajan, and homegrown. He's also a Berkeley alum, and has been very instrumental in mentoring many of the youngsters on the island, including myself.
What does he play?
He's also a saxophone player.
Oh, he's another. Okay. He's a saxophone player. Great. So, but you've played for some big celebrities, private parties as well. Of course, Jeffrey Osborne's Celebrity Golf Charity, and you've had some more people that you've played for.
Yeah, golf. I mean, golf is the ultimate sport for bringing entertainment and sports together. You get to kind of see the overlap. A lot of celebrities, golf is their pastime. That's our opportunity to kind of get away from being in the limelight and just enjoy 4 to 5 hours of serenity and outdoors, and enjoying nature at some beautiful courses across the country. Camaraderie, and it's a sport that you're pretty much competing against yourself, because most of it is mental. The decisions, the choices that you make, kind of impact your game, the results of your game. So I've been very fortunate to get invited to a lot of charity golf events to perform, and also golf, as a celebrity. So like you said, Jeffries is one that attracts, some pretty big names in the industry, and we also do, some musical performances during those events. So at Jeffries, we've had some pretty big, after parties with Smokey Robinson and Eddie Levert and Johnny Gill and Sinbad and Chris Tucker. And, all the music is off the hook because you get to perform all of their hits. And after a day of golf, so it's a lot of fun. Chris Tucker's is also a pretty fun one. I've done every year. And also Ray Allen, when he was playing with the Celtics, he had a great cause. He was helping kids in the public school system getting access to computers and workstations. So all these guys, like I said, besides their accolades and besides the fact that, you know, they're all very famous and very rich, they all have, you know, causes that are very near and dear to them, where they, you know, are paying it forward and giving back to their communities. Jeffrey gives back, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars to arts programs in the Rhode Island area.
He does.
So, you know, they definitely inspired me to want to be an ambassador for, you know, music education in Barbados with my celebrity golf tournament.
And you're on your way. I mean, that's just growing. But as a recording artist, I just want to make sure everybody knows you've topped the Billboard radio charts for, I mean, over 10 times. What are some of your hits that's been on those charts? I mean,
So I've never had a number one hit as a solo artist. I think my solo peak was at number 11 with a song I released on the Love and Sax album called Heaven in Your Eyes. But I've had two number one hits as a guest artist with Julian Vaughn, who's an amazing bassist from Kansas City. He's like a Wayman Tisdale protege. I've had, you know, a couple top 5 hits, one with Brian Simpson, a song that he wrote, and a bunch of other artists that, you know, we perform at the same festivals, and I see them, you know, a lot during the course of the year. They've asked me to record on some of their projects. So, you know, I don't take that lightly. Anytime you get to hear your music being played on, you know, I can't even say local radio stations, because a lot of our cities now don't have a local jazz station anymore. But, you know, Sirius XM Watercoast is probably the main place you'll hear, you know, our music being played in the contemporary jazz format, as well as, you know, Pandora and Spotify and Apple Music. So again, everything that I've accomplished and achieved, you know, 40 years. No, I just turned 42 actually. But, you know, being at one point an under 40 in a genre where, you know, most of my peers, you know, are 15 to 20 years older, you know, it's a humbling thing. And I don't take it for granted.
Absolutely. So you all download some of Elan Trotman's music and enjoy some of the smooth sounds that he has put out there. He's super talented. We're Elan. It's been great. And we are coming to the close of our broadcast. Do you have any departing words of inspiration or, you know, wisdom to upcoming artists in this pandemic time that you'd like to share?
Sure. Well, let me start with the latter part of that question, as far as words of encouragement for young musicians, as well as, you know, touring musicians. You know, we're all in this together. Our industry has been, you know, directly impacted by the pandemic. And for many of us, we don't know where our next paycheck is coming from, when our next show is going to be. So right now, a lot of us are panicking, and it's just very uncertain times. So I just want to encourage everyone to stay positive and, you know, use this as an opportunity to reinvent yourself and you know, create and be ready for when we do get the all clear. And then for the first part of your question, just departing words, again, it's hard not to, you know, to be a little bit, you know, depressed and a little down based on everything that we've all experienced as, you know, humanity over the last 15, 16 months. Right now, that is in the forefront of my mind. Nothing else really matters to me at this point. The next 2 months don't really matter, because, you know, we've seen so much, we've been through so much. We've lost loved ones, you know, we lost employment, finances. And right now, this is an opportunity for us to just come together and heal and, you know, regain our strength so that we can, you know, try to get back to some sense of normalcy, you know, hopefully before the end of the year. That's my hope. So I just want to wish everyone, you know, just good energy, good thoughts, stay safe, continue to socially distance. Don't take this virus for granted because we're not out of the woods yet. But thanks for supporting my music. Thanks for supporting this broadcast. If you watched it in its entirety, thanks for tuning in. And thanks for sharing. And thank you, Ross, for having me.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. I'm enjoyed you today, tonight, and I'm so grateful for you. I'm wishing you much success, and let's do it again. Keep your head up. We're going to come through this, and so staying positive is the way to be right now. God got us.
Amen.
I believe that. So thank you. Stand by. Well, let me thank you all for watching the broadcast again. And if this has been of value to you, please share. And we will see you again. Bye-bye. Thanks for rocking with your girl, Roz. And look out for our next flyers, for our next broadcast. Stand by as we end the broadcast. Thank you. Thank you, guys. You've been off the hook. Roz's happy hour. 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 Roz's happy